In this episode, we're going to talk about tubes and the shortage we're about to have. Stay tuned. What is up, my comrades? It's your boy, Luis Torres. And if you have one of these, you're officially rich. So, of course, everyone lately has been talking about how there's going to potentially be a shortage with tubes because for the most part, most of our tubes are made in Russian factories. So, of course, with the United States, the UN, going ahead and imposing these sanctions on Russia and their properties that they have globally, including bank accounts, everything else under the sun, we were kind of heading in that direction. And then all of a sudden, Electro-Harmonix just announced that if you have an order for several of their tubes, they will be canceled. And going forward, they will not be placing any new orders, and they may have to stop certain products that call for tubes. And if they run into an issue, they're not going to be able to go ahead and ship those products to you because who wants a product without tubes in them when it needs tubes? So, so someone in one of the Facebook groups, I think it was the Heavy Metal Amps and Pedals group, works at a guitar shop that they said was a national shop. So I'm assuming, Sam Ash, Guitar Center. And apparently all of the Russian-made tubes that they have in inventory, they actually took off the shelves, and which I think is weird. Like, yo, you already bought them. You bought them pre-issue with Russia and Ukraine. So you shelled out money and you're not going to sell them. Now's probably the time to sell them. So of course that's going to drive the cost of tubes through the roof. So if you haven't purchased any tubes, then you may potentially run into an issue down the road if your tubes blow, which isn't something that necessarily happens all that often. I should know this. So the great thing is that, you can potentially have your tubes for literally years after this Russian-Ukraine issue has already been resolved and Putin's no longer in power, whatever the case is, whatever the outcome ends up being, your tubes will outlast this dilemma. So what do? Do you decide to buy into the mental craziness and thinking that you need all of these tubes in your inventory that will potentially never be used? So don't freak out. Don't go crazy. Don't go out and if someone's selling, not to say that I'm not going to sell my tubes for an arm and a leg, because Lord knows I bought these for $59.99. Can you see that? Let me see. I probably have to lower the... No, can't see it. Anyway, trust me. It says $59. Actually, it says $59. Not to say that I wouldn't sell these for $1,059, because I fucking would. And I have a bunch of them. Like, literally have a bunch of them. So if it gets that crazy, then I'm your supplier. I'm like a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? I don't deal in cocaine anymore. It's all about the tubes. So, but don't go crazy. Don't go out. I mean, listen, it kind of got me also where this morning I went to eBay just to see what kind of tubes are out there and which ones are available and do I need to get them. don't freak out, you know, like, and, you know, but I can say that because Lord knows if one of these PVs, if their tubes just blow, I can always swap them out with that one. Or if those blow, then I can swap them out with the tubes in that PV. And if those blow, I can use the ones in that PV and then use the ones in that PV. You know what I mean? So it's just, or we can all switch and just get the Marshall 8100, which is just solid state, and we're all good. So what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Don't go crazy. Don't, if one of these black market companies decides to sell matching tubes in pairs for $200, and Lord knows someone's already selling a bunch of tubes for $600, like, that's crazy. Don't go crazy. Just chill, relax. All this is going to be fine. Your tubes are going to be fine. Your tubes will outlast this conflict, even if it means that, God forbid, NATO has to step in and all of a sudden we're in a full World War III. If that happens, bro, you're not even going to be playing guitar. You're going to be selling your amps to buy a bunch of guns to make sure that you're okay. But yeah, you know, it's things like that happen. And, you know, if you aren't old enough to remember the oil embargo in the late 70s, you know, that was a major issue. And you know what? We got past that. And today we are happily enthusiastic in paying $6 per gallon. So yes, things will get better. Gas will no longer at some point be at $6. It may climb to $8 a gallon, but it'll come back down. It'll retract to $2 again someday. So, it's crazy. The gas prices are completely insane. But that's just, war is all about making money, and you just can't trust politicians, government. You just can't. Because they're all about making money, and they're all about, figuring out ways to cash in on the cash cow that's going on in Russia and Ukraine. So, guys, I will be, and I know I kind of have been a little kind of lazy about this, but today is the day that I will feature the Harley Benton GPA 100, which is the 100-watt solid-state power amp section that is basically the direct competitor to the Seymour Duncan Power Stage 170 and the 200. I have the 200 here. So yes, I will be putting them side by side. That way you guys get to hear if this $100 thingamajig is worth the same in the ballpark to this $500 thingamajig. So don't forget to stay tuned. And yes, that'll be on there later today. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. That way you guys get the pop-up when the next video shows up, and hit the little bell so that way you get the notification. Das videnia, and I will talk to you guys soon.